formed a nonprofit called Aim to Empower students, teachers, everyone who had a sense of, on my mat, I get this and I couldn't live without it. And I see this group in our community who I think could really use it too. And so we began teaching yoga classes at the Lancaster County Prison and for the School District of Lancaster and the PA Coalition of Clubhouses and so many more. And nobody has to pay for those classes. So we provide them free of charge and give everyone a mat. Just like you on a mat today, we make sure everybody has the right equipment to have a great class. And there's so many people actually sitting in the room right now that actively help out all the time with Aim to Empower. Could you raise your hand, those of you that always help out with Aim to Empower or have? So if you ever have any questions about Aim to Empower, you can ask myself or any of these people who raised their hands. On Saturdays at noon, we have a class every week, and all the proceeds of that class are donated to Aim to Empower. So I just wanted you to know that. If you feel inspired to take part in fundraising, volunteering, maybe you want to go along with one of our teachers when they're teaching. There are so many opportunities for you to do that. So ask questions about it and join the fun. Last 40 Days to a Personal Revolution, I'm teaching the one in this studio or virtually. It begins next week, so a week and a half from now, on Wednesday the 26th, and it's at 7 p.m. And it's a program with 4 different disciplines in it. Asana, like you're doing here every day. Meditation, we've got some fun tools to teach you how to become a meditator, even if you don't think you are one or could do that. Inquiry is one of our practices and techniques, and that might be the one that you're like, I don't do that, I don't even know what it is. And journaling is something you're physically doing when you're doing inquiry, but you're doing it while you're practicing on your mat, and your teacher's telling you, try this, try that, figure out what you think about that from your own experience. And so it's just the process of being curious and asking a question with no expectation of an answer. So we practice that. And then finally, there's a nutrition component where you're learning to be in observation about the food you eat and what it does for you. So it's not like the cabbage diet, lose 60 pounds in 60 days or something like that. It's just a process of awareness. So it would be amazing to have you. If you have questions about the 40 Days program, you can ask me after. And those of you who are here virtually, you can do it too. So you could ask questions as well. All right, let's get started. We've only got so much time and we need to get some yoga in here. So welcome everyone who's here for the first time, visiting from afar and experiencing evolution. Take child's pose. So toes together, knees open, arms forward and your forehead on your mat. And exactly that sound I just heard in the corner. Take a deep breath in and just let a sigh come out. If you need to do that a few times or any time during class, always do that when you're ready to just clear some space for yourself. Otherwise, we breathe this way. It's an Ujjayi breath. Slow, steady, deep, and rhythmic. So you'll inhale for like 3 counts and pause and hold your breath. And then exhale for 3 steady counts. That's the harder part. And then pause and hold your breath. Keep trying that on. Inhale, pause, exhale steady, and pause. Keep going. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Keep working your breath. While you're doing that, you could become aware of your ribs expanding and relaxing, or the sound of the whole group breathing can be very soothing and supportive. If you ever find during the practice today that you're not breathing anymore like this, it's like more difficult, maybe there's panting or holding your breath, just take a sigh and start again, just like we're doing now. And then we'll match breath to movement. On your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog. So your body in the shape of an upside down letter V. Once you get up here, you can start bending and straightening your knees to start stretching out your toes and your feet, your calf muscles, the backs of your knees. Keep your breath flowing and then start to build your foundation. So by that I mean maybe walk your feet back on your mat further and step them wider apart. Squeeze each one of your fingertips to the mat. Once you get this nice long base built, inhale, soften your knees, exhale, pull your hips back to the back of the room. Yes, do that again. Inhale, Soften your knees and pull your hips back until you even feel your armpits stretch. Do it one more time. Pull your hips back, stretch out your armpits, then look forward and walk up to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway and just stretch your whole spine long and flat. Then exhale, hang down. Now just hang here, maybe fold your arms and hold your opposite elbow. You can sway from side to side. But start to be on purpose even with this pose. Look at your feet and organize your feet so that they're parallel to one another. Maybe hip width distance, maybe a little wider, and keep on breathing. While you're observing your feet and creating them as a foundation, shift your weight in your feet forward, back, inside, outside, until you get to know the whole bottom surface and choose the parts you're standing on. Press them down. Keep on breathing. Even though it seems like a small little action, keep pressing your feet down into the mat, all four corners, until you can become aware of that as you press your feet down, the pit of your belly is also lifting. The arches of your feet are also lifting. Keep on breathing and building that. Soften your knees for a lot of you. Then inhale. When you exhale, press even deeper and come rolling up to standing. Just pick up the pit of your belly, unwind your spine, unwind your neck, and look up. Sweep your arms overhead. Look up, stretch up, and then hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and pause. Set your gaze on one point across the room. This is called your drishti, and we'll refer to it a lot. When you set your gaze, just see what you see right there in front of you. And then from right here, feeling what you feel, experiencing what you're experiencing, set an intention for the practice. 3 times we'll chant Om. You're welcomed to make a lot of sounds. Fill your body up with the vibration of the sound. Don't worry what it sounds like. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, high plank to low plank and hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Breathe in. Start to really move some energy. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. Deep breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Press your feet down into the ground, reach up to the ceiling and look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, low plank on the exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep lengthening the base as you warm up. That's it. Keep your breath flowing. At home, send your breath into the room with us here and us to you at home. 1 more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Press your feet into the mat, reach for the ceiling. Then go back, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, low plank. You can drop right down into the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Fill your whole body on the inhale and totally empty it on the exhale. There's a lot of different breath. 1 more inhale. Bend your knees, exhale. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. 1 more time. Press your feet into the floor. Reach to the ceiling. Now reach back. Fold to the floor. Exhale. Halfway lift. Drop into the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and breathe. It's so good to be alive and on our mats together this morning. Let's take one more breath in, squeeze the floor, bend your knees, exhale, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose next, sit deep and reach, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, hold it and just stretch your breath out. Low plank, empty and hover. Then inhale together, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior one. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, left side step, lunge, reach. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and breathe here. Doesn't matter if it looks perfect right now. We don't even have to all be perfectly in sync. We're just waking up, breath and movement, each person to the other, from home to the studio and back. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, jump. Halfway lift, forward fold, sit, reach, fold. Halfway lift. Savor the whole pose. Chaturanga. Savor this pose and wait. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Reach up, inhale, warrior one. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. You're doing great, cat. Left foot forward and step. Inhale, reach up, look up. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, and breathe. Now, a sigh is always a really good tool here, but also you can put your knees down. One more inhale. Bend your knees, exhale. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, sit way down and reach and just hold this. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, stretch long. Chaturanga. Empty, empty, hover. Inhale, go up. Exhale, go back. Right foot forward. Anchor your feet, lunge deep and reach high. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forward and lunge. Inhale, reach up and look up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. This is sun salutation B. We're going to take it one more time. One more breath in. Bend your knees, exhale. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Now all together. Chair pose, sit and reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, exhale and empty. Upward dog, downward dog. Left foot forward, anchor your feet, reach up and go back. Hands to the floor, steady, empty your breath. Upward dog, downward facing dog. So maybe you're feeling a little short of breath or like it's going a little fast, and that's just your body learning to breathe more deeply. Stretch the breath out further in your body. Stay right here and raise your right leg into the air behind you. Be careful if you're close to a wall that you don't kick the wall and hurt yourself. Bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip. Turn your hips open. With your hips turning, just take a breath and appreciate your lungs stretching. Then flip over, 2 feet to the floor. Once your feet land, press your 2 feet down and your hand down and reach up and overhead. Up out of your bottom shoulder and overhead. One more breath. Side plank. Put your right hand down, face the left side of your mat, and stack your body up. Once you get set here, press your hand down into the mat until you feel your arch of your palm lift a little bit and your armpit hollow out a little bit, and the whole thing gets a little lighter. Once it gets lighter, lift your top leg up in the air, just a foot even. One more breath, and then float, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, stick your tongue out, and sigh. Left leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, and turn it open. Once your hips are open, pause a second. Just really stretch from the hand on the ground to your knee in the air and breathe, then flip. Put your feet on the ground. Press your hand in the ground. Just get curious about how when you press with your feet and with your hand, the whole thing can get lighter. You can lift up out of your shoulder and float out of your shoulder. Your shoulder becomes stronger and more steady this way. One more breath. Side plank. Flip over. Left hand on the mat. Face the long right side of your mat and stack your body up here. So as I look across the room when I'm practicing or teaching, I see in this pose a whole lot of like tight lower back, butt popping out of the back of the pose, back arching. For everyone in the pose, stay exactly where you are. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up to your chin. So your whole torso gets long and lean. Another breath, long in the underside of your body from heel to armpit, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We're just exploring space. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. It's different from the warrior pose because now you stand on the ball of your back foot. Without even looking back, just explore the knuckles of your back foot. Probably the weight's in your big toe. Bring some weight over to your little toe. You'll feel your hips square. Then power up your back leg. Breathe in. When you exhale, just lunge really deep. All the way down until your thigh is parallel to the floor. Then another breath, reach up. Hands to prayer. Twist toward the right. Left elbow to your right knee. Anchor it there. So a lot of times when we twist, we make this mistake of kind of curling around behind us and looking behind us. Look more to the upper right corner of whatever part of the room is the right front to you. And lengthen out from the notch of your neck all the way to the back of your heel. So open this space, Tina. Long and lean from fingertip to fingertip here. Breath in. Exhale, open. There. Inhale, reach up, crescent lunge. Turn to the left, warrior two. Once you get settled, without even looking at it, pick up your back heel and swing it out even further. Be at a deeper angle. Now really lunge down into the pose. Lunge down until not only your front leg is working, but your back leg feels engaged in the pose. And then stretch your arms apart from thumb through chest to thumb as much as it stretches. Keep that. Tilt to extended side angle. That's it. Keep your breath flowing. Now, if this pose strikes you as, oh my gosh, this is a hard one, put your concentration on your arms and just stretch them apart. Breathe here. 5 more breaths. You got it. 4 more. Press the back edge of your back foot into the mat. Damien, open your chest now. You got the bind. No, keep the bind, but open your chest. Last breath. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Is it even a pose if afterwards you don't go, oh? Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge, arms overhead. Every pose is infinitely interesting. Ball of your back foot, lunge forward. You already learned that part. Go down low in the pose and lift up and go back. The deeper you lunge, the bigger a back bend you can have in the world. Reach up and go back. Deep, deep lunge. Lift your chest up and go back. Right there. Now like that, Grace. There. Hands to prayer position. Twist toward the left. Right elbow to your left knee. Whoa. And really breathe here. You can think about it from your back heel. Can you imagine this? All the way up to like the notch of your neck. Those 2 points, move them apart as much as you can as you're stretching here. You're welcome to open your arms, half bind or fully bind the pose. 1 more inhale. Stay here, exhale, reach up, crescent lunge, turn to the right, warrior two. And settle in. First few breaths are not really even in the pose. We're just exploring it and learning about it. So lunge deep and put some weight in your back leg, Ava. Really stand in your back leg. Yep, that's it. Susan, you've long legs. Take up a little more mat. Breathe. Front leg straight, front leg bent, back leg straight. Straighten the back one, yep. Now stretch your arms apart and then tilt. One arm reaching for the floor, one arm for the ceiling, and lunge deeper. Yeah, lunge deeper and really reach, 2 arms apart. Then build the pose however your body is leading you. Arm around behind your back, half bind, maybe full bind. Once you've bound, your hands can press your hip and your arm presses your thigh open. Then you just lift up and turn your chest to the ceiling. Deep lunges and chest to the ceiling. You have 5 more breaths. Just breathe. 4 more. Somehow enjoy the pose. 2 more. Last breath in. Stay for the exhale. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. In your downward dog, inhale. Stick your tongue out and exhale. Yes, let all the complaining come out like that. 1 more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Now chair twist. Sit back, reach your arms up, hands to prayer, twist to the right. We're just going to take 2 breaths here. So inhale, twist a little more as you exhale. 1 more, inhale, twist a little more, chair pose, go the other way. Hands to prayer, move toward the left, right elbow to your left knee. 2 breaths here, sit deep, Angie. Even deeper, last breath, chair pose, forward fold. Open your feet as wide as it takes for you to feel really steady. Then hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. Lift up halfway, and then stretch your chest down to your toes. Now keep on breathing. Throughout the practice, whenever you're doing something and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is hard, and we're going to move on, know that the next pose is put there to help you settle, to let you breathe more. Palms under your feet for gorilla pose, so stand on your hands. If you can get your hands the whole way underneath your feet, once you're standing on your palms, you can reach that, then push the knuckle of your big toe right into the hollow of your palm and squeeze your toes and just massage your hands. Make an effort. I know we concentrate on stretching in this pose and that's happening, but make an effort to just start to spread out the muscles and the bones of your hands by standing on them. Got that with your hands? Your hands have this sense of ease and openness. Okay, release your hands for crow pose or handstand. So now your hands are ready. Set them wide on the mat and really make them strong. Squeeze the mat. Hips up high in the air and knees into your armpits, feet up in the air. You can be taking handstands as well if that's what you work on. There's a seated version of this pose if you're looking for the seated version. Wherever you are, we're taking 5 more breaths, so get ready. Every time you inhale, gather your strength. When you exhale, press the floor and lift your core. 3 more, 2 more. From wherever you are, chaturanga. Just lift your head and drop your feet, headstands. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. A breath in and a sigh. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, jump to your hands. Half lift. And fold. Press your feet down, come rolling up, sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your right arm under your left, squat down, right leg over your left, and just tuck your toes behind your calf muscle. Now if you listen, we've all stopped breathing. Set your drishti and build your breath. Then step out and switch sides. Nothing to it. Just go to the other side. Left arm under, left leg over. Steady breath until I can hear you at home breathing. And from home, we want to hear you breathing here. Step out, switch sides. Right arm under, right leg over. Just as little stuff going on in between poses as necessary. Switch sides again. Left arm under, left leg over. Pull the pit of your belly in. And step out. Hug your right knee into your chest for standing leg raises. So you can continue with holding your knee or hold the outer edge of your foot and extend your knee. Push your foot forward. So knee or foot. You can always take a lying down option like Adam's showing you up here. From wherever you are, press your foot into the floor. Press. And then lift the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Hug your knee into your chest, airplane pose. Before you go anywhere, just open up your body, then tilt into the airplane. Chest up and open. That's it, Mark. Up and open. Now steady. Press into the floor with your foot until you feel the pit of your belly lift. Look for that. Press into the floor with your foot until you feel the pit of your belly lift. Then hands to prayer position, half moon. Steady with the leg in the air. Left arm to the floor, right arm to the ceiling. Steady with the leg in the air. How do you keep it steady? Imagine that you're right inside of a bubble. And then with all of your limbs, you're pressing out into the edge of the bubble. Everything is touching something. Press out. From the center of you to the periphery, press out. One more breath. 2 feet to the floor and hang. And you can just sway from side to side. And then come rolling up to standing. Hug your left knee into your chest. Keep holding your left knee or hold your foot and extend your leg. You can do it lying down, could do it standing up. You can see how you use the strap around the ball of your foot. If you're looking for that example on Harold. Once you get into whichever position it is for you, press down and stand tall. Whichever position you're in, just broaden your chest and upper back. That's it. Light and easy. Broaden your chest and upper back. Hug your knee into your chest. Set your gaze. Airplane pose. Open up the pose. Breathe. You got it. Just put your eyes on one point. Just take the pose breath by breath, or the practice breath by breath. Press down with your foot. That's all you have to do is press down with your standing foot. Even if your airplane pose looks like this, you have your back toe on the ground. Press down with your standing foot and lift up through your head. Then hands into prayer position. Half moon pose. Reach to the floor and reach to the ceiling. Even here is one of these opportunities to pull your arms in opposite directions and move your shoulders to the back side of your body. You got it, Adam. Press. Broad across your chest. You got it. 3 more breaths. Press right here. 2 more. Press, Adam. Last one. Good. There it is. Forward fold and hang. It really locked in there at the end. Sway from side to side. You guys act like you're dying or something. You guys should see it in here in the back row. There's a lot of I feel like that sometimes too when I practice. So the best thing to do when you feel like that is put your feet on the floor. Put your eyes on one spot and your hands on your hips. And take a breath. All right, ready. Standing bow pose. Roll your right shoulder back. Let your palm reach out like this. So palm facing out. Bend your knee. Don't change your arm. Just hold your ankle from the inside. Left arm in the air. Now steady breath. Bring the breath back into your body and start to work with the pose, breath by breath. If you feel like your shoulders caught forward, which is pretty common to have that hand grip go off, feels like this, let go of your foot and roll it back. And then kick into the pose. Good. Kick back, reach forward. Once you get that back and forward built, then you can have down and up. Stay in the pose. Come back in if you lost it after you get grounded. Stay in the pose, take a breath in. And a sigh out and stretch. Stay in the pose. Inhale. Now stretch it floor to ceiling. Stay with it. 3 more breaths. You got it. 3 more breaths. Keep breathing. Stay, Greg, stay. You have it. Last one. Okay, come on out. Put your feet on the floor and breathe. Let's forget about that one. Left side, roll your left shoulder back, hold your left ankle from the inside. I think this pose is like the miracle maker. But you have to actually let yourself be in it. It's kind of, it can be hard to do that. You can just be in like the when is this over? Get it so your body pulls apart. Like take a sigh here and just let your shoulder go back. You're going to be at your edge. You're going to be right on the edge of coming out of this pose the whole time. Press down and kick up. Stay with it. You're good. You're good. You got it. Drive your foot up. Wake your foot in the air up. If you fall out, just get grounded and come back in. Stay with it. If your mind is telling you I can't do this, just set your gaze and breathe. You have 5 more breaths. You can do this. Keep on going. Keep breathing. Stay with it at home. 1 more breath. This is your biggest expression. Then feet on the floor. It's good. You can do big things. Tree pose. Left foot down, right foot up. It's the best. You don't want to come here and get sweaty and not have everything you can have. Like, there's nothing worse than just being sweaty. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, and reach overhead. You ever have a massage where you leave and you're like, oh, that was just like somebody put lotion on my body. That was like nothing changed. You don't want that to happen in your practice. So in every single pose, get in it, set your drishti and your breath. Get really present to what's possible in the pose. And then play on the edge of that. You're just like dancing on the edge of falling out of the pose or breaking through to something like a whole miracle in your body. 1 more breath. And switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. Interlace your fingers and press your palms forward, reach overhead, or any other arm variation that you prefer. The great thing about our practice is like all levels practice together because every person gets so present to their body to putting principles to play in each pose and then builds the pose just how it needs to be for you right now. Take another breath and step out. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift up halfway. Drop into the low plank, right to the bottom of it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward for triangle pose. So step your right foot inside of your right hand. And then boom, open the pose up. So 2 straight legs. Your hand on the floor could be on a block. That's fine. Your back foot angles inward. Make 2 straight legs. If your legs hyperextend, soften your knee. Now breathe. Everybody lift all 10 of your toes off of the mat and press the knuckles of your big toes into the mat. So toes in the air, big toe knuckles down. Walk your hand back a little more, Grace, off your mat. Deep, deep crease in your front hip and then stretch right through here. Yes, now go back. You won't fall. Strong belly, pull in the pit of your belly and drop your head back. 1 more time in the pose. Inhale, a sigh as you exhale. Come on up to standing. All the way up. Face the long left side of your mat. Wide leg forward fold. Lift up high and then fold down to the ground. You have a lot of choices here, but the one I'll offer is this. To walk your fingertips as far away from you as they'll go. Hollow out your palms, then breathe in. And when you exhale, sink the weight back behind your heels. Your hips go back behind your heels. Until all the way from your palm to your hip crease under your body, it's maximum stretch. When you've got the maximum stretch like that, just breathe. Breathe big, steady breaths that have your lungs be like balloons expanding and relaxing. There's so much dead zone there in our lower rib cage area in the back. It doesn't ever move. We don't breathe that deep into our lungs. Use all of that space right now. And if you're upside down, come on down to the mat. And for everyone, come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat for standing single leg forward fold. So front foot pointing forward, some width between your feet, back foot at whatever angle works for you. Then pick up your 10 toes and work the corners of your feet to get your hips square to the front of the room. Hands interlaced behind your back. Lift your chest up high and fold. As you're folding, work from your big toe knuckle, heel, up to your sitting bone. Work this stretch right through here, especially the middle of the hamstrings, out to their periphery. Can you feel that, Mark? Oh yeah, that's what we want. Keep breathing. Maybe you stay with a spot where you get a little stuck and just breathe and work with that. And then maybe you're able to go a little deeper in the next breath. Work with whatever is in the pose. A little weight forward, Grace. It's getting a little beyond. Bring your weight forward and bring your hips square there. Twisting, that's it. Left fingertips on the blocker floor. Make your whole body long and turn and open. That's it. So in this pose, from your right hip crease reaching back to the notch of your neck reaching forward, you breathe and let the pose open. Relax your shoulder. There it is. Let the pose open. 3 more breaths. Big exhales. 2 more. Last one. Let your chest open. Hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in your downward dog, and then step your left foot forward. Triangle pose. Keep your breath flowing, even as you build the pose. Steady, steady breathing. Keep a nice wide, long stance. Erica, can you soften your front knee a little bit and just drive your thigh bone back into your pelvis? Get a bigger tilt of your pelvis to the side. Yep, keep working with that. And for everyone, pit of your belly in. Now, next step, Nanette, take your block behind your ankle, and everybody, yep. Keep your belly strong and your feet strong. Your block can go back even further off of your mat. Then inhale, no, behind you off the mat. Inhale, and then as you exhale, drop your head back. Strong belly, drop your head back further. That's it, Jordan, keep going. Drop your head back. Nice, come up to standing. Face the long right side of your mat for another wide leg forward fold. This time, take your arms around behind your back and interlace your fingers. The 7 a.m. group, they're all so tight and their hands didn't come off of their hips. I was telling them it looks like they're on an episode of Cops and they're about to get thrown in the police car. Their hands, so use a strap and open your hands a little wider so they fall overhead a little bit. It's what it looks like from my perspective. Breathe. Now, while you're here and there's room and time for the pose to build, open your heels a little bit more so your feet are parallel to the short sides of your mat. That might have just drifted out of alignment a bit as you've been in the pose. Little softness to your knees if you can hyperextend them. Take a breath. Come on up to standing. Standing single leg forward fold, so set it up. Set your arms up. Even here you could hold a strap, even if your arms are very easily overhead when your hands hold. Especially if you have a strap that has a loop in it or like one of these practice bands, it can be really helpful to take the pose just like this. There are all kinds of things to stretch in your chest and shoulders. Explore it. Don't just set yourself up the same way every time. It's the inquiry of your practice, putting your body into the shape, working the actions that have been asked, and seeing what you see, and then seeing what else is available. Your pose will look different from everybody else's pose in the room. One more breath. Twisting triangle. Right hand to the blocker floor. Turn toward your left. That's it. Perfect. Now, if you can, reach up so much there's less weight on your hand that's on the floor. A little bit. It doesn't have to be like a lot less. Just lighten the load. Actually, pull your left hip straight back. Yes, don't let it swing over to that wall. Straight back. You got it, Susan. Oh, you stayed. That was so nice. Stay with it. It was a good pose. One more breath in. Open up on the exhale. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Come to a high plank and lower down to your belly on the mat for locust pose. Keep your toes turned under like they were for that push-up. Arms out wide and lift. I always like your feet, toes turned under, toes anchored on the mat, and heels pressing back. It gives you actually the foundation of a back bend to learn with and build from, and discover how to get the chest expansion. So push your heels back like they're standing on a wall and open your chest and come back down. Floor bow, bend your knees and hold your ankles from the outside. Shoulders roll back. You can take this one side at a time and then kick up. Now if you're, bring your left arm forward and then you can hold your right foot. Here, bring this guy forward, right here. Look, you can do one leg at a time. This here, turn those toes under, and now kick up and pull back. Yes. Let your shoulder or shoulders go. Okay, come on down. We'll do the other side. That's it, David. So if you're doing one side at a time, switch sides. If you're doing 2 feet at a time, go for the second set. Kick back and kick up. If you're doing one leg at a time, the foot on the floor stays really anchored. Can you grab that foot? You got it. If you can't, we can use a strap. There you go. Now kick back and pull up. Perfect. Dave, you can bring this arm forward for support. Yes. One more inhale. Come on down on the exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Jump through, sit down, and roll onto your back. Once you're on your back, it's bridge pose. Bend your knees. You want to set your feet wide and make them as straight as they can be. Many of us have a tendency to turn out. Some of us are turning in, but for the most part, most people turn out. Line them up. Press down and rise up. So you press into your feet, lift your hips in the air. If your feet are really far forward of your knees, you might want to walk them back toward your shoulders a little more. Now press so much in both of your feet. And then without moving your feet, bring your right knee into your chest. Reach to the ceiling. And get this effort of a reach down and a reach up. Push up 3 times like you're pushing a button on the ceiling. 2, 3. Put the right foot on the floor. Press 2 feet down. Left knee into your chest. Press the foot down so you can reach the other one up. And 3 times go up. 1, 2, 3. Foot on the floor and come all the way out of the pose. Knees side to side. Okay. Keep on with this bridge pose or move into the wheel pose. So let's start in the bridge. Bring your body up into the bridge. Once you get into the bridge pose and your shoulders are tucked under your body, fingertips to the ceiling, flex your wrists, put your hands on the floor set wide and deep under your shoulders. You might stay here or press into the floor and rise up into the wheel pose. Just check it out. What do you have in you today? What's the possibility? Just get up there and see what's happening and come on down. Now knees side to side. Set up again. Hands, feet on the floor. Press down, rise up. All the way up into the pose. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees side to side. Set up the next one. Hands, feet on the floor. Press down, rise up into the pose. While you're in this pose, while you take this one sigh, just let your shoulders be easy. Inhale, exhale. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees side to side. Set it up again. Hands, feet on the floor. Press down, rise up. Now this time, tippy toe. Just stand up on your tippy toes. See what you see. What's new? Really press the knuckle of your big toe down. Come on down. That one really got you. It should have been a little easier. Knees side to side. We have 2 more left. You have a lot of time here to try new things. Get ready. Press down, rise up. Tippy toe, maybe walk your hands in closer to your feet. One more breath. Tuck your chin and come down. Knees side to side. Okay, last one. Press down, rise up. So an option instead of standing up is to bring your knees into your chest, and maybe you get your knees so far into your chest that the other foot takes a little jump and you kick through the handstand and over. It looks like this. Are you ready? Like that. You'd easily be able to do that. Okay, lie on your backs for Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together, knees open wide. You rest your arms wherever it feels comfortable. Set your gaze on one point at the ceiling. This might be a really good point in the practice to just appreciate yourself. I know you show up and you get exercise, but you also show up and make yourself the best version of yourself you can be today. And the whole rest of the world is grateful to you for that. Okay, dead bug pose. Hug your knees into your chest. Hold the outer edges of your feet and pull your knees back to your shoulders. This one gets me sometimes too. I hold back. It's a nice chance to stretch. Rock from side to side. Sometimes you'll be able to rock side to side and get it in your lower back. I curl up a little bit more and get it more in my middle back. It really appreciates it right there. And then legs straight up in the air. Flex your feet so you can see your toenails. And your feet should be probably a little more away from you than you think, so they're right over top of your hips. Now, reach your fingertips up to your toenails. Take a breath in. When you exhale, sink your belly deep and just curl up. Right at the bottom rib, curl. Now, every time you exhale, you'll blow the air out. You'll sink your belly deeper and maybe touch your toenails. Get ready. Inhale. Exhale, blow out and touch your toenails. Keep going like that. Exhale and touch your toenails. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your head down and maybe hug your knees. Then legs up in the air. Let your right leg hover down below at the floor area and left leg stays in the air. When you curl up and you look at your foot, instead of your toes turning out, point them straight up to the ceiling and just imagine you're hugging against something like Mark is doing right here. Curl up and with your right hand reach for your left baby toe. Keep pressing like Mark is pressing and pulse up 10 times. Go for 10, press 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees. So good. Let's do the other side. Other side. Left leg hover, right leg in the air. Now, if this hurts your back at all, you can bend the hovering leg or lift it a little higher. And remember to activate your center line. Just like this. Press, Grace. Press against my leg with your leg and my hand with your foot. Curl up and reach for your baby toe. Keep pressing. When you get your center line, this is going to be easier. Keep pressing. 10, 9, 8, 7, that's it, 6, keep going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock back and forth like 5 times, head to tail. Back and forth, a bunch of times. Just a bunch of times until your whole back feels like it's all stretched out. When it just feels like it's good now, go through to downward facing dog. From the downward dog, pigeon pose, right leg forward. So your knee will come to the floor. Bring it to the floor near your right wrist. And then you'll want your hips to be square. So for a lot of us, like from the bird's eye view, the 2 sides of your pelvis. So for many people, tucking something under your right hip will help that be so. That's it. And breathe. Now you've worked hard and you have this really big chance to rest, but it doesn't mean just turn everything off like a light switch, just turning everything off. It's like a volume knob. Dial down the energetic output. Dial up the quality of restfulness and ease, but keep steady the focus in the breath. You can, with your left hand, reach for your left ankle and then fold forward with a bent left knee, getting a stretch in your quad muscles on your left side. Yep, you can hold it with your left hand. A block under your right hip will help keep you from tipping over, and fold. Keep hold of your foot and fold if you can. That's it. You got it. Sit, Jenna. If you tuck something under your hip, Jenna, you might be able to fold the rest of the way and you'll be balanced. Take one more breath. Take a whole sigh. hands to the floor, downward dog, and switch sides. Bring your left leg forward to pigeon pose. So your control of this pose, like the control of the speed of the pose, is in your front shin. More square to the front, small end of your mat, more intense. Heel more in close to your midline, a little less intense. If you're in the pose and you're just like, this is super comfortable and it's nap time for me, add some intensity. You can come up and reach for your back heel. With the right hand to the right heel is easier. And then if you feel like you're going to tip, a block under your left hip will keep you more steady. And then fold forward. Take this right here, Kat. Get yourself down into the pose. So use your strap to lasso the back foot. If your foot just feels a little too far away, the strap's there to make your arm a little longer. There you go, Dave. Oh, you do have a strap here. This is a short strap. That one's too short. Here, bring your elbow to the floor and reach over your shoulder. That's still too short. Okay, we'll let you hold here. Okay, release that leg. Sit on your left hip and swing your right leg around. Seated single leg stretches. So straight right leg, bent left leg. Turn and face the long right leg. Maybe press into the ground so you can get forward on your sitting bones and hinge forward. Left hand to hold your right baby toe. As close as you can get, and a strap's always a good tool when your arms aren't quite long enough. Work with your body wherever it is. Get into your deepest pose for you. And in the deepest pose, take a breath in and exhale. See if you can have just a little more space, a little more freedom in your lower back or whichever part of your body you're concentrated on. Then switch sides. Fold into the left side. If you have a knee in the air, support it with your block. So that your whole back be long. Then come on up. 2 legs in front of you, roll down onto your flat back. You can be on your flat back with your legs straight up in the air or roll your feet overhead to plow pose. If you prefer to work on a different inversion, you're welcome to do that. But flat on your back, legs straight up in the air, maybe with your block under your hips, that's a pretty good choice. Once you get set up, set your gaze on one point, somewhere on the ceiling probably. With your gaze set and your breath steady, maybe take a sigh. A sigh is always good for letting your bones settle. And then just breathe your steady breath. With your eyes set and your breath steady, see what you see. What are you experiencing in the pose right now? From right here, what's possible? If you're in the shoulder stand, come to plow pose. If you're in a headstand or a handstand, come to child's or newborn pose. Then for each person, come onto your flat back if you're not already there and hug your knees into your chest. Drop your knees to the left and look to the right. And switch sides. Come back to the center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a breath in and exhale. You have a cold eye towel near your mat if you're in the studio practicing. You're welcome to place that over your eyes. And then Shavasana, stretch your legs out long and wide and your arms wide. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Allow your whole body to settle. I'll read a little excerpt from this book, Journey to the Heart, while you rest. This is called You Are Being Led. You are being guided. You are being led. I say that a lot because I need to hear it a lot. The more I hear it, the more I believe it. The more I believe it, the more I see it. There are times when life flows along, when it's easy and natural to believe we're being guided. But there comes a point in any journey, in even the most magical of trips, when we look around and say, I don't know where I'm going. We have no plan, we're short on ideas, we're plumb out of vision. We've gone as far as we could see. Now is the time to practice what you know. Trust, let go, stay as peaceful as you can. Stay right here in the present moment. Sharpen your tools, your intuition, your inner voice, your consciousness, and your awareness. Do the little things, the small actions that appear right, the things that are right before you. Feel your feelings. Move through the fear. Wrap up in self-love. Then let the journey unfold. Trust that you are being guided and led. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Another breath, and this time as you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes. Then hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side. Bring yourself up into a sitting position. Make yourself comfortable. Once you get seated here, just take a moment and feel what you feel. Experience what you're experiencing. Then inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and pause. Set an intention for the rest of your day. One more time, we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Inhale. Exhale through your mouth. Namaste. Thank you all for being here, for playing and practicing. It's one of my most favorite things to do is be here together on a Saturday morning, so thank you for having me. See you next time.